Today we're going to talk about resin and how to get those pesky bubbles out of them without using a heat gun or any other crazy kind of methods. So I have a silicone mold here and a plastic mold. Resin can be used in either of these. I personally prefer the soft resin and the UV kind that is already mixed because there's no mixing involved. You don't have to worry about getting the perfect ratio or anything like that, and it can cure in minutes. And if you don't have a UV light, you could just follow the instructions on the back of the box and they tell you how to get around that pesky UV light. Now, one thing you will have to have is 90% rubbing alcohol. I have tried 70%, it does not work. So what you're going to do is take your 90% rubbing alcohol and you are going to spray down your molds a lot. And the reason why you're doing it a lot is because once the resin hits the mold, the bubbles dissipate immediately. This is a tip that I got from one of my followers on live, and we tried it and we experimented with it, and we found that the 90% rubbing alcohol works the best. For some reason, 70% doesn't work, and we even tried Everclear drinking alcohol, and that didn't work. So I sprayed down the molds, and then I just poured in the soft resin. I prefer soft resin because I like the flexibility of it, because I'm using it mostly on bottles or boxes, and I like the way that it can bend and flex around the shape of the object I'm putting them on. And as you can see, if you have any bubbles on top of the resin once you pour it, just give it a little spray with the rubbing alcohol and the bubbles go away immediately. And it makes it a lot easier to put the resin in very detailed molds such as the Stamperia molds, because all those little nooks and crannies can actually get filled in with the resin because the rubbing alcohol makes all the little air bubbles go away. It takes the air out of the resin. I prefer using a UV light simply because I don't want to have to wait around a whole day for the resin to be done, and it will be ready in minutes, so that way I can get started with my projects right away. What I do is I put the UV light over the molds and I hit the 120 seconds, and I do this twice over the molds. Then what I do is, after it's been through 2 cycles of that, I take the resin out of the mold, and then I will lay them face up and also do it again for another 120 seconds twice. And as you can see, there's no bubbles in it. It's good and clear, so if I wanted to use this for a little window or something, I could. I plan on painting these and attaching them to bottles and boxes. And like I said before, the alcohol really helps to seep into the mold, so that way it gets every little detail from the molds and makes making resin molds so much easier. And you can also do this with hard resin. It works just the same. So I hope this tip helps you guys if you've never done anything with resin, or if you have and you've had that pesky bubble problem like I have. This simple trick really is a complete game changer. Thanks for watching, and look for more tips.